Have any of us sat on the bed?
No.
Did you hear somebody say hello? Were you playing a little bit of hide and seek with us?
Yeah.
Hello my friends and fishes, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking into the legend of the lady in red who supposedly haunts the Hotel Vancouver. So if you're new and you don't know already, Mermaid, Zelda, and I have started this ongoing collaboration between our two channels. It's a little bit of a paranormal, ghost hunting, urban legends, unsolved mysteries kind of a series, basically Mermaid mysteries. And so together we had the opportunity, big shout out to her dad, to stay in a haunted hotel in the heart of downtown Vancouver. So as you saw probably in my little intro clip at the beginning, some shit happened. Were you playing a little bit of hide and seek with us?
Yeah.
So before we dive in, let me tell you guys a little bit about the history of the hotel and the lady in red. So the hotel was originally built in 1939. It was the third sort of installment of the Hotel Vancouver. It's now the only one that remains. It's a very awesome looking building. There's a lot of relief sculptures, gargoyles, a lot of fine detailing that you really see a lot of from buildings in that era. It was also the 5th tallest building in Canada when it was built. It actually made the front page of the Vancouver Sun, May of that same year when it was built. So the hotel itself is 369 feet tall and houses 557 guest rooms across 17 floors. So the hotel, upon its opening, was visited by King George VI and the Queen Mother, and we actually stayed in the room right next door to theirs.
You've got to open it.
There we go. That's where you work. You know the drill. You know the drill. Okay, now it's a real video because we've got Alfie in the scene. The lady in red refers to Jennie Pearl Cox, also commonly referred to as Pearl, who was a 25-year-old woman who frequently attended afternoon tea dances and other social events at the hotel during the early 1940s. She was married to a man named Harold and had a 6-year-old daughter named Dorothy, or Dottie for short. In the summer of 1944, she and her family were returning from the countryside one evening when their car was struck by a truck on the corner of Burrard and West Georgia. Jennie, Harold, and Dottie all sadly perished in the accident and were then said to have taken up permanent residence in the Hotel Vancouver. We encountered some stuff, you guys. I am going to tell you that right up front. We also debunked a few things, which was really interesting. And without further ado, let's just dive on in. All right, fishes, we made it. We are here. We are at the hotel. I'm here with Mermaid Zelda. Her dad is just chilling off screen. We got to give a big shout out and lots of love for all of the help that we're getting. You're a rock star. And you know my face, so you're fine with that. And we're going to talk a little bit about where we are going to be exploring. We've already found one kind of creepy spot. Like,
weird little room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're okay.
But this is the ice room. Like, we're allowed to be in here, right? Like, it's ice.
Well, there's ice. This is gonna be for like staff to bring stuff up and down, I imagine.
Okay, staff
yeah.
elevators. Yeah, and I will make it happen.
I will make it happen.
Yes, I will.
Yes, I will.
It is currently October 20th, and it's a full moon today.
It's a full moon.
It's a full
totally
moon.
Forgot.
I feel like if ever a time we might catch something,
it might be today.
it might be today. Yeah. So we're very excited.
Enough of us talking.
Yeah.
Let's get down to it.
All right, people. So we have I laid our tools out here. You know, there's no button or any kind of anything that lets us control it.
Exactly.
It's just one button on the front. So, okay, so all the cameras are going.
All the cameras are going. So
Okay.
let's just, let's start around any and all technology just to see
the baseline.
if there's a baseline at all.
Okay.
I don't know that there is. I think I might just put this guy.
Okay, it goes off to my ring light.
What about this guy? Okay.
No, nothing.
So far, nothing in this room. Okay, so not a single flicker or anything. So let's let's just like sit for a second.
Like, should I turn off the ring light?
Okay,
So let's see.
Is there anybody here who would like to communicate with us? You can use these lights to communicate with us. Maybe Pearl wants to say something.
We know you like to come into people's rooms and say hello sometimes, so we'd love to see you or talk to you.
Did you sit on the bed at all? Have any of us sat on the bed in the
We can check let's check. I don't know, I don't think so, but maybe. We've been filming this whole time, so let me
like when we were
check because that's a little did I?
Maybe you were leaning? Did you lean on it?
I'm gonna check our footage here. I might have leaned on it with the EMF.
Okay, maybe that's what it was?
To like, yeah, I think I did that.
All right, debunked. I hope that's what that was.
So there,
oh, there it is.
So there I did the...
You leaned on it. Okay, thank God. All right.
Okay. Should we try the spirit box?
We're here, I guess we might as well.
And the lights are off, so... All right.
Okay. Is there anybody there?
It kind of sounded like a man saying, yeah. Okay, Harold, are you here?
It sounds like a little Dorothy, maybe?
Yeah, is Dorothy or Dottie?
Is anybody there who'd like to talk to us? We'd love to hear your story. So as you saw, we started off our investigations on the 9th floor, and something that was really interesting that we observed later on in our own room, as well as one other room, is that each room really has its own vibe. Each room really has its own energy. I will say that the 9th floor was definitely more zen, more relaxed. The room that we were exploring was very calm. It felt like any other hotel room, any other room that you've ever been in. What was weird is at one point it felt different, but we didn't really know why or what, and we couldn't really tell if it was just because here we are, we're using the spirit box, it's a little bit spooky. We didn't really know. And what was really scary was hearing the voices back after the fact. It sounds like a little Dorothy, maybe?
Yeah, is Dorothy or Dottie?
So we did hear a few things like you guys saw, but all of the other ones where you don't see us reacting, and I've cut it, it's just because we didn't hear anything at the time. And going through it after the fact and hearing all of the stuff that we missed that were actual responses to what we were asking was a little bit spooky. And then we decided to explore some more.
Yeah, we could do that.
Good?
Oh, now I know why.
Yeah.
You got us. She figured it out.
Yeah, like why we have rooms on different floors.
Floors, yep.
Floor 14.
All right, let's do this. That way, I think.
Oh my god, I want to get a clip of that.
You know what's interesting? They say they're never supposed to put two mirrors directly across from each other because it actually opens a gateway for spiritual activity. These are really cool.
They're unsure I should have stayed in these rooms and that would have been walked off.
That'd be pleasant,
Yeah.
So something I wanted to point out as we're going is the amount of reflective surfaces in this hotel was astronomical. Everything was reflective. The walls, there were mirrors, there was glass, the windows, on some of those beautiful ornate gates, there was actually glass paneling between them. The surfaces of the tables were all reflective. There were so many places for you to catch a glimpse of your own reflection that was actually your reflection reflecting off of something else. It also meant that you are constantly bouncing light off of windows and mirrors and other glass surfaces or metal surfaces. It's reflecting your shadow onto things, which I thought was really interesting. So there were already a few instances where I was like, oh, what was that? And then realizing it was actually my shadow being reflected off of a surface onto the wall. So that was just something I wanted to point out. That kind of debunks a little bit of it, but what's gonna happen next? It's not something that we could figure out. So let's continue on.
Had guests staying 1413. This is the room. We had a Japanese tour group.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was that room.
And this is the room that they saw people outside of their window. This is also a room where I had a couple guests. They were like, called me in the morning. They're like, oh, the elevator shaft was so strong. Our bed was shaking and our door was shaking. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. There's no elevator shaft beside the room. This is the room. So if you see the bed,
Yeah.
the wall, it's not connecting
Touching anything.
to
It's just
the same room.
It's cold in here. Okay.
Okay, we go around the room really quick and
So it's gonna do its one thing. Okay, so right now we are in this room 1413.
she said that this was a room that had a lot of activity.
Hello?
I do
Dad, can you come over here?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay. We're just right in the middle
Of
of
something.
the room right now. There's no electronics here. It only did this when it was right up to my ring light.
It's just right in the air.
Wait.
And it's just stopped. Oh wait, it's coming back. Can you put it against the wall? This is really interesting because we're either debunking this or this is a real thing, because that amount would definitely impact somebody sleeping here.
Yeah.
Is there anybody here who wishes to communicate with us?
Oh, it went to orange, Courtney.
Pearl, is that you?
I don't think it is.
Jennie?
Harold.
Is that little Dorothy?
Wait, is this a closet?
Oh my god, it's a freaking closet. Which had the light on the whole time.
Do you hide in this closet?
Are you playing hide and seek?
Here, do you want to hold it this way? Okay.
All right.
Are you still here, Dottie?
Were you playing a little bit of hide and seek with us? Oh my god, I've got goosebumps everywhere. Have you played hide and seek with anybody else here before? Do you sometimes visit the staff in the building? Is your mom still here? Do you want us to come and find you? Maybe I found you. Celebrate!
We just did our spirit box session, and this thing was going crazy in here,
And now it's not doing
and
anything.
now it's not doing anything.
Okay, so this room that we just explored, I am gonna tell you, if it wasn't the scariest, creepiest thing, there was such an energy in that room. Honestly, when you walk in and it's like, you just feel that like you're uncomfortable, like you don't feel like you could have a good night's sleep in this room. And it was cold, it was so cold. Our room on the 14th floor, which was like on the opposite side of the building from this room, was warm and inviting, and you walked in and you just felt cozy already. And then to have voices interacting with the things that we were saying in a way that actually wasn't just gibberish, like us trying to find a connection. Like, I asked a question, and when we got a yes, were you playing a little bit of hide and seek with us? Oh, I thought I was gonna faint. Like, all the hair on the back of my neck, my arms, I had goosebumps and I was hot and cold at the same time. And it was so weird. And for there to be so much activity in that closet and then to have no activity. And we actually came back to this room later on, which was a really crazy story. When we came back to that room, it wasn't the same energy and it wasn't the same activity. So whatever happened in that span of time didn't happen again. Okay, so now we're gonna be coming up to probably the most compelling piece of evidence, because we ran around, like we tried to find if anybody had been there to just watch. What is this fucking, another weird elevator? Did you hear somebody say hello though?
I did, yeah.
What, just now?
Yeah.
No.
Can you make it blink to yellow? Oh my god, you guys, this is fucking freaking me out. Oh, and yeah, and this time it did it. It's going all the way up.
It went up. Oh my gosh.
It's going up to orange. My arm is on fire, dude. My arm is tingling. The worst part was, though, the voice that I hear in the recording is not the voice that I heard. The voice that I heard sounded like a woman, and it sounded high-pitched, like, hello, not like what we heard. So I don't know what to make of that. The craziest thing happened. So we had dinner, we had a nice break, and we'd gone up to the 9th floor for dessert, because as part of the gold, I guess, package, you have access to this lounge and you can get dessert and have some tea and coffee and cakes and whatever. And as we're getting our dessert, there's a woman standing in front of us, head to toe. She is made up, she's gorgeous. And I'm looking at Zelda, I'm like, you can see her, right? Zelda's like, yeah, I can see her. I'm like, I don't know what compelled me. I just went over and I was like, hey, I don't want to be weird. and you can totally say no to this. Would it be okay if I just got a little clip of you walking out of the lounge? And if she didn't say, oh my gosh, absolutely, you can totally do that. Are you guys ghost hunting? Because we're still in our gear and everything, right? And we're like, yes, yep, that's why we're here. And they're like, oh yeah, we're here for that too. I thought I would wear the dress to try and draw anything out. They're like, hey, we're staying in room 1413. And we're like, you were the guys who went into the room after we left. So we ended up talking to them and like filling them in on what had happened. We went back to their room. We had a whole other adventure that freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, there was a Ouija board involved and I just sort of sat on the sidelines because I didn't really know, that's not really my jam. So I was a little bit uncomfortable. I was like, I don't really want to be a part of this, but I'll film it for you guys and whatever. It was crazy. We went back in that room and it was a totally different energy, a totally different vibe, and we ended up having a really good night's sleep. I did wake up at like 4, like just before 4, I woke up and the room was just blazing hot. Like it was so hot. I thought I was going to die. I was like, I'm dripping. I'm like, this is disgusting. And Zelda's like, why is it so hot in here? I'm like, thank God you're awake. I'm opening the window, which was insane. And you could see like the full moon and everything outside was really beautiful. But not once in our room did I ever feel like unsafe or scared or anything. And I didn't necessarily feel unsafe or scared in that other room either, but it was just leery. Just like, this is a different vibe than the other room. Do you know what I'm saying? So the last little bit of evidence, if you will, that the Hotel Vancouver is in fact haunted, because I'm pretty sure it is. I was just randomly trying to get some B-roll. I was trying to get some B-roll of me just wandering through the elevator area looking like I was looking for evidence, right? I wasn't really actually looking for anything. And isn't it always the way when you're not really looking for anything that you find something? So, okay, so I've set up my camera and in the background behind me, before Zelda actually passes in front of the frame, you can actually see an orb. Now, hang on. I watched back the whole clip, and it's a long clip, so I don't want to include all of it in this, but I watched back the whole clip. There are no bugs that we saw on this floor. These floors, this hotel is immaculate. This hotel is really clean. Room 1413 had dust particles out the wazoo. I don't know what was going on there, but the hallways were spick and span. We didn't see any bugs. There was no other evidence of dust floating on my camera for the whole time that I was filming in this particular location. Now remember, the lady in red is said to float between the elevator doors and across the sort of platform between the elevators. There is a little orb that just floats down, it kind of loops around, it's got a mind of its own, and as Zelda's walking by, it speeds up. You know when you're walking by somebody, if you walk by fast enough, you get like the breeze that comes off of them and you can kind of smell whatever perfume or deodorant they're wearing that day or what they had for lunch if you're super lucky. You would think that as she was, because it passes right by her, as she was passing that it would get pulled this way if it was dust. And if it was a bug, I would kind of expect it to just be like more erratic, like it just, you know, doing its thing, kind of buzzing around like flies would, you know? Not that I'm some kind of major bug expert. I'm very suspicious of it because it just goes around in a very smooth kind of an arc. That was the last thing that I really couldn't explain. Now, if you guys want more, you are definitely gonna wanna swim on over to Mermaid Zelda's channel. There's gonna be a link in the description box down below. If you enjoyed this video, you wanna see more like it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up to let me know. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below to join the pod and the bell notification as well so you never miss an upload. So I wanna thank you guys so much for coming along with me today on this adventure. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. And again, thank you so much for watching and I look forward to catching you all again in my next video. Happy swimming! Bye!